makeup of the absentee ballot as well. That was all in place 4 years ago. That's not due to a change in state law or due to Husted directive.
It's the directive and how it's interpreted and how people perceive it. You know, at the time, it didn't make sense to us to think it was going to be a major problem on just sealing an envelope. But I can imagine how many people may not do that. Now,
it was enforced 4 years ago.
Right. Okay, but the question is, does the penalty fit the crime? Okay, does the penalty fit the crime? I've done everything else you asked me to do. And now simply because I didn't seal it, my vote, my franchise, my right, my privilege is not being allowed to exercise for such a simple thing. I mean, we've done things before. People, you know, closed their eyes, forgot about things, but not in this case. The politics of this is becoming so toxic and oppressive for people to vote. People are going to say, I'm not going to get involved. And that's what we're afraid of.
Are all of these things explained on this instruction sheet that comes with the ballot?
All of this information is provided on the instruction sheet, but again, let me go back. Does the penalty fit the crime? Is it necessary that we have that the envelope is sealed? Can it be just put in, and if there are no infractions or anything that's misconstrued here, if the ballot is clear, why does the envelope have to be sealed? I understand that. Does the punishment meet the crime?
Isn't the reason they need it sealed is because they want to be sure that your ballot hasn't been tampered with?
Yes.
It would be really easy to just pull your ballot out, fill it out again, and put it back.
Joe, there are two parts of this. If this is okay and it doesn't appear to be tampering with it, no movement, changes, etc., or anything on the ballot, I understand. If that's correct, fine. But if it doesn't happen and none of those things exist, there appear to be no tampering with the ballot, again, is the penalty proportional with the crime?
Well, and the way I would look at it is, this has to do with, you are absolutely right. When you think about sealing that ballot, it's the same thing as putting it into a ballot box. You want to have it be secure. And so, all right, so imagine this, you only lit the middle and it comes undone. Well, you did what you were supposed to, right, but it came undone. Then you need to correct it. So the Board of Elections sends you a letter, which gets lost in the mail, or it doesn't get there till later, or a variety of things happen. You just don't notice it in the pile of bills. There are a variety of, you can just imagine the kind of things that can happen. What we're saying is, obviously things like this. Hey, we need to make sure that this is actually a safe ballot. It needs to be corrected, right? Well, why not just pick up the phone? What is this directive about? It doesn't make any sense. Pick up the phone. Voters would really appreciate it if boards of elections were permitted by the Secretary of State to actually be able to pick up the phone.
Could it be argued that forcing them to mail instead of making a call will actually cost them more money? Cost the Board of Elections more money?
I guess I'll step up because I've talked to some boards about exactly how they're dealing with this. I would assume, because you have to print the letter on paper in an envelope and mail it first class with a stamp, that's more expensive than a call. I haven't gotten that. Logic tells me it would be, but I haven't actually surveyed the boards or asked them. I do know it takes them, I was told, 3 additional steps by an angry board employee when I was trying to ask, exactly what should a voter do to make sure their ballot counted if they were nervous about this, because I didn't want to give the wrong answer and create extra work. So it does in that way. They don't see mailing a letter as a simpler process for sorting through these before election day.
I'm a blue-collar guy, all right? And most of my life I've worked with people that are just trying to put shoes on their kids' feet, just like you guys, And when you have 2.5 kids, and you're working 50 hours a week, going through your mail is not an easy task. It just isn't, And for my mother and father that went through had multiple sclerosis and wasn't ambulatory, they could pick up the phone. They couldn't. They weren't able to just rip through every piece of mail that came into their house and have time to read it and have time to redo what didn't need to be redone. That a phone call could have taken care of. I know me personally, I know so many people that are working 2 minimum wage jobs just to put food on the table, let alone having time because of a clerical error to sit down and take that much time to deal with the only thing that the common man has, and that's the vote. So anyway, I'm gonna pass. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
One more quick question. Okay, this is for Camille, I think, as well. If there is a letter that goes out to somebody telling them that there's a problem with the ballot, what's the cure there? Does the letter tell them to send us back another request for an absentee ballot, and we send you a new one and we destroy the old one? What's the cure?
I think it depends, but I think the problem is that the notice provision, it will significantly delay how voters are able to respond and possibly correct it. So I think the practices of the counties of how they're whether they're destroying the envelope, whether they're having them come down and fill out a new one, what exactly it is, I think that varies. But the problem that we're trying to highlight today is just that this is going to significantly delay and possibly prevent a lot of votes from being counted.
Is there anything in the directive that prevents somebody from calling the board and asking, is my ballot okay?
Absolutely, that's what we're trying to highlight. It's a change in policy. The previous directive allowed the boards, if a phone number was provided.
No. I mean, can the voter call the board?
The voter can call the board. That's what we're trying to tell.
Why not just encourage all voters who've sent it in?
Call the board, check on your ballot if you're concerned. If you voted by mail and you don't know whether everything was A-okay with your.
So the board can still answer their call.
Yes, they can receive calls from voters, and so this is the voter empowerment message. Call the board and check on your ballot.